What's going on, guys? This is Will Schusterick, and I am with Idris Garcia. We're from Prodigy Disc, and we are here to bring you commentary on the 2019 Prodigy Pro Tour, and we are in Tampere, Finland.
Pretty exciting. Looks like a rainy day there in Finland, but we've got some good competition here.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think this is four of some of Finish's top disc golfers. I've had the pleasure of playing with just about every single one of them. Väinö, Oskari, Samuel, and Mikael. Very excited to watch them rip up this super long course. I've heard lots of really good things about it. Once again, we're in Tampere, Finland, and I think we're about to get started.
Yeah, I haven't had the pleasure of playing in Finland, but I've seen plenty of it on video, and it is always beautiful, and the players are awesome.
Yeah, and we're at frisbeegolfkeskus. I think this is the new course in the area. I've heard it is super long, very challenging, and once again, I'm excited to check it out. We're on hole number 1, par 4, 791 feet. It looks like there's a lot of elevation. You got the slow down grade coming up. Obviously, you want to stay in the middle of the fairway. I know there's some out of bounds over there. You can see any out of bounds with stakes or any area you see with those white stakes are out of bounds. So when they do these fly-throughs of the holes, pay attention to where those stakes are, and that's where the players don't want to land.
And what a tough starting hole. I mean, straight away, 241 meters, 791 feet.
791 feet is a long par 4. I mean, that is a rip shot off this gap here. Not to mention that it is a little rainy as Väinö catches a little limb early.
Yeah, and
ends up a little bit on the left side.
We've got Väinö here. He was the winner of last year's Pro Tour, so that's why he was selected for the feature card here.
And then next up, it looks like we have Oskari. Played with him last year in the Czech Republic, and it looks like he is keeping his nice and low.
Both Oskari and Samuel were former junior champions there in Finland, so some young up-and-comers.
And that just kind of shows you the growth of disc golf in Finland. There's so many junior players in Finland that are just crushing the competition right now, playing very well. And then next up we have Mikael. I got the pleasure of playing with him at many events last year whenever I was overseas. He's got a great overall game, very good putt. It's just a little bit off right there, and looks like it's also windy. I think that's going to bring an added aspect to the course as the wind's coming in with a lot of out of bounds and really long tunnel shots. It's pretty tough to stay in the tunnel whenever you have thrown into a headwind and it's wet.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying earlier, it's a long par 4, and you don't really have a whole lot of room to flex your disc out, so it's just adds to the challenge.
You can kind of see the basket all the way down there at the end of that gap on that previous frame. We just saw Samuel have a nice second shot, and Väinö is finding that out of bounds.
Yeah, it looks like just an unfortunate cut roll. Didn't quite get his flex sidearm high enough.
And it looks like right there, that's a great shot by Mikael.
Yeah, Mikael won the previous event in this year's Pro Tour.
Oskari, looks like he just hits a little bit early, but he seems to be safe.
Väinö not happy with his umbrella there.
You can see how windy it is out here with the umbrellas going all over the place. It looks like Väinö's going with a putter, probably just trying to keep it safe at this point. He's a little rough off the tee and then win OB. This is a great
nice shot.
Look at that hyzer flip, like soft landing. That was a really good looking shot right there.
Yes, goes right past the little skinny tree. He'll be on the green.
And Samuel.
Great kick.
Gets a very friendly kick there. And Mikael going with a little forehand, trying to get up there. Those trees kind of cut him off from throwing any type of backhand.
Yeah, and he actually went a little bit long there. Luckily stays away from the stakes, but it's going to be a tester coming back.
Yeah, and Väinö, I'm not sure if he was just trying to throw a putter just so he could be safe or if he could go back. It seemed like he needed a little bit more distance on that shot. But then he leaves his upshot a little bit to the left. It's going to be, oh, actually, that's out of bounds is what it looks like. I think that's the yellow card. Or
I think he might have stayed in the second time.
I think he stays in. I think that means he did go out of bounds on the hole. Okay. I'm understanding the colors now. I'm in.
Long putt. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well
great
done.
putt right there. That's to save bogey. And it seemed like he played the hole decently well. I mean, par 4, 791 feet. That's a really long par 4, especially with the out of bounds.
Oh, Väinö goes a little low left there. Sometimes it's so tough to just get warmed up and get into the rhythm of a round when it's rainy, and I imagine it's still fairly cold there as Väinö misses the comebacker as well. Tough start.
It's a little bit of a tough hole for Väinö coming out. That's a tough one to start on the first hole. It's a great bogey save right there by Samuel.
Have Oskari finishing us off here. Ordinarily, I would say is a pretty routine putt, but the conditions do not call for that. He makes good on the par. The lone par or better score on the hole. Well done.
Yeah, that's a great par.
Yeah, yes.
It's a great par.
Clearly a great par.
It is the first hole of the entire tournament, of course, so just trying to get through that, I'm sure. Head on to hole number 2, 407-foot par 3. I assume that these players are going to be wanting attacking this with a really big hyzer shot. I don't see too much out of bounds. Oh, never mind. Just got there, and that's a really nice-looking green. Beautiful looking tiered green area right there.
And it looks pretty protected as well. A lot of smaller trees kind of dotting the green there. Looks like they'll have plenty of room to swing that hyzer out, and it'll get tight as they get towards the green.
And Oskari is going straight up, and it looks like they got to get the shot really high in the air. Can't really tell which way the wind is going, but with a right to left on this, it's going to make it play a little bit easier, I would say. Not a great kick right there for Samuel. Fairly easy up and down, though.
Yeah, and it looked like he had a nice angle to push forward, but he didn't quite get it high enough.
Yeah, and it looks like Mikael actually plays a little bit off of Samuel's shot, gets a little bit more on the inside, but he's not getting far enough left. That probably seems to be the issue on this one, is just getting as far as you can high with glide and pushing as far as you can.
So that looks like a good line from Väinö, and
I think same thing. It just seems really tough to get all the way around the corner. On these shots, you're going to see a lot of players actually not throw the most overstable disc in their bag. You're actually going to see them throw something that's fairly straight that they can throw with a bunch of hyzer, get it up into the air, and then glide all the way out to the basket. You want something just to stay in the air for as long as possible, basically.
3 nice upshots into the green so far. Everyone getting close enough to have good looks at the basket. Väinö giving it a run.
Yeah, Väinö's trying to pick up for that first hole. I'm sure he's going to be running at some shots like that throughout the round. Great par save by Mikael. Obviously, with the conditions the way they are, the shorter putts like these are not going to be, although they are routine, it's very easy just to let one go and just kind of hurry up because it's raining or because it's wet or because you might have a lapse in the wind. But it just takes a little bit of focus for those 15-footers.
Yeah, and everyone tapping in so far. Oskari will finish us off. Everyone's staying out of trouble on that second hole. Hopefully that means everyone is settling in, getting a little bit warmer, and ready
kind of getting the nerves out, too. Yeah, there's a little bit of nerves going on as we're heading on to a 308-foot, 94-meter hole number 3. This is definitely a must-get on this course, I'm sure we're going to see these players throw either a slight turnover or a very straight to slow fade sidearm.
And there is a hazard area over to the left, seen by those, marked by those yellow stakes. Oskari looks like he's flirting with it. I'm not seeing the graphic.
Yeah, it might be too close to
So
call
we'll
right
see.
now. Yep, we're going to see what the call is. As Samuel, we see him kind of...
Yeah, he's pushing out there.
yeah, that seems like he's...
Yep.
He finds the hazard right there. He's taking a +1 on the hole, so he's going to be putting for par.
Yeah, and opposed to OB, usually when you have a hazard, you play from the lie with the stroke penalty instead of taking it back to the line where it goes out.
Yeah, and Mikael playing off those last 2 shots, you can see his is much more on the inside, and that's a great shot.
Yeah, he'll have a look at birdie.
And Väinö just trying to look into get on track, hopefully get a couple, string some birdies together.
He's going to go with the turnover.
And that looks to be tracking towards the basket. It doesn't have any fade on it. It's actually going long.
Wow.
Gets a little back roll, but that's a good shot, I think, by Väinö. It's going to give him an opportunity to make that shot. Samuel going with a little step putt. It seems to be a little bit of a drop-off behind the basket based off of Väinö's tee shot. So with these putts coming in, I'm going to imagine they're not running them too hard, just with that drop-off behind it.
Oh, and he'll just pull his a little bit to the right. Easy to do when you're trying to get a little extra oomph on it to get it there.
Can he putt through the wall?
I
don't think
tried.
so. He tried to putt
He did
through the
his
wall.
best.
It's a good attempt, but seemed to be 6 or 7 trees right there.
Really, it's a great kick that he kicked away from the wall instead of just straight down and having to putt from behind it again.
Yeah, it's not too bad of a drop-off there. It's just got a little bit of a trench, I guess. That's not even a drop-off. I think that's more defined as a trench.
Yeah, a little ditch.
Oh, the birdie
Great
on the
birdie.
card. First birdie of the round for Mikael.
Yeah, well done.
Great tee
Erasing
shot.
the bogey from hole 1. He is back to even to tie with Oskari, who has taken all par so far.
Nice little comeback there for Samuel. He takes the bogey. So it looks like Oskari was safe on his hazard shot.
Looks like he was in outside the stakes. Fortunate break for him there.
As we head to hole number 4, 387 feet, 118 meters. Once again, we're looking at a pretty tight tunnel shot, really thick trees on each side, very slow turn to the right, and then the basket finishes on the right-hand side of the fairway. So I think you're going to see a lot of players either go with that really slow turnover or some type of flip-up sidearm would also seem to be a decent play. And it looks like Mikael's going with a fairway driver of some type, trying to get around, listening to see if he hits any of the trees.
Yeah, it looked like that one went a little bit early. It looks like you need to Kaiser flip something that has a really late turn.
Yeah, it seems like once you turn right, you want to continue right, and then finish right on this hole. Just keep going to the right. As Oskari pulls his a little too early, and then he takes a kick to the right. I don't think that's going to be a great position.
Yeah, this is another really tight fairway. The last 2 were a little bit more forgiving. This one looks like you really have to commit and hit your line perfectly.
And Väinö looks to be going up the left-hand side. It had a really good angle. It just didn't grab the turnover. I'm not sure. It seems like the left-hand side you could at least get to the basket in comparison to the right.
That looked like a really nice line there.
And as we walk up, we're going to see Mikael, who looks to be out. We saw him throw first. We didn't see his hit early, but it seemed like, I guess he did hit a tree and then kick into the bushes over there. So
He gets out and puts himself on the green to save par. That was a really nice out, getting up over all the trees.
yeah, the rough on this course looks to be just that. Looks to be very rough. Pretty tough to get up and down for your second shot, as we see Väinö right there.
That's another
That's a
good
really
one.
good shot. Yeah, that's a tough one, just to find a gap through all of that.
Oskari focusing in on his shot. He'll have a laser putt onto the green. It's going to be a long look.
Yeah, it just seems like you're trying to just take a poke and hope. If you're trying to get to the fairway or trying to get to the basket when you're off the fairway on this hole anyways.
Samuel with a great drive and a great bid.
That was a really good run. Seems to be like Oskari has a little bit of a slight turnover putt coming into the basket. This is definitely going to be a tough run. But it looks like he's going to be taking bogey on this hole, as it seems as soon as you're off the fairway, it's going to be tough to get to the basket. We saw Väinö is the only one who actually got to the basket on their upshot.
A nice little step
look at
putt
that.
there for Mikael.
Nice, Mikael. Got the replay coming in, just popping it up high and letting it sit right into the center of those Prodigy chains. And Väinö to save par from pretty good upshot, and he just leaves that a little bit short. Bounces off the front of the cage and pops out.
A little bit left. Sometimes when it's rainy, it's so hard to get a comfortable grip when you're putting.
Yeah, and it seems everybody has gloves on as well. So I'm gonna guess cold, rainy, windy, tight tunnels, and out of bounds. So it's gonna be a little bit of a tough day for these guys, but thanks to Prodigy Disc as the sponsor, we're headed to hole number 5, 860 feet, 262 meters. This seems to be one of the tougher holes out here. Once again, a really long par 4, very demanding. The trees look to be very thick if you get off the fairway. But I think we're going to see some of the players kind of let loose off the tee shot on this.
Yeah, this one looks like you get to rip it a little bit more than hole 1. There are still some trees dotting the fairway again, but you got some more room.
Yeah, we're going to see Mikael here. It's going to be interesting. I saw a lot of the out-of-bounds stakes on this hole. He's getting it pretty flat. That seems to be definitely the type of shot that you want. Looks to be perfect positioning. Once again, Idris and I have not played this course, but it's looking very tough so far. 860 feet. Or a par 4 is long and challenging, 2 demanding shots to get to the basket.
And Samuel goes a little bit tighter than Mikael did.
Yeah, and you can see if you can get to that corner, it looks like you can open up on yet another shot. But if you get cut off, it seems like you're going to have to be going for some type of flex shot to get to the basket. As Oskari rips one really high, sweeping hyzer.
Gets down right before the rough into that gap. Really nice looking shot.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the spot to be, as he's probably going to throw a very similar shot the next on his second shot approach towards the basket.
Väinö finishing us off here. His hyzer flips a little bit flat and then rides that angle.
Yeah, that seemed like a pretty nice crush for Väinö. I'm sure he's ready to just kind of let loose on a couple shots and give himself an opportunity.
So Samuel throwing that flex shot you were talking about, he was a little bit further to the right than the other players, and looks like he's close to the green, but it's going to be in the rough.
Yeah, and once again, I think a little bit off the rough on this. You're going to be trying to find any gap towards the basket. Whether you got a jump putt, tomahawk, forehand roller, whatever you got to do. These trees just seem so tight and thick that it's going to be tough to get up and down if you're outside the fairway.
Väinö turning his over. It's to flex back a little bit, and
that is a smash by Väinö right there.
What touch also.
Yeah, nice touch. Probably, I'm gonna guess if this is 860, he threw his tee shot at least 450. So that was a nice, accurate, over probably near 450 foot shot towards the basket. Hopefully that builds a little bit of confidence for him, and he drains that putt.
Samuel trying to pitch out of the rough. Looks like he's got a small window, and he gets out of it.
Yeah, and that's kind of like what we were talking about. It's just you want to find any gap, and usually if you're within 80 feet, you're going with a jump putt just to kind of poke your way through and get up to the basket and hopefully get within the circle. As Oskari's got a really long putt.
Looks
and
good.
Drains it.
Wow. Another replay.
The putt of the round so far. What a putt by Oskari. He's got that nice spin putt, leaving it up to the right, and he's draining it into the corner of the basket.
He didn't even need to jump. He standstill putted from distance. That was really nice.
And that is a great birdie. I mean, only the second
absolutely.
birdie on the card so far. As we head on over to Väinö, who is lining up, and that's a great putt by Väinö. Definitely a confidence booster right there. First birdie for him coming on hole number 5.
Yeah, those guys really played the hole well. Both of them threw great tee shots and put themselves in position to get the birdie and converted on it. It's great to see that.
And Mikael here, just popping it in there, taking the par, and it seems par is not a bad score. I mean, we've seen some players take some over par strokes on just about every single one of these holes so far, as Samueli saves his par.
Yeah, great job by these guys. 2 birdies, 2 pars. We've got Oskari and Mikael tied at the top at even, with Samuel just 2 strokes back and Väinö 4 back.
As we're headed to hole number 6, we got a par 3, 360 feet, 110 meters. It looks to be like forehand is going to be the choice of shot selection for this, as it seems pretty far tucked to the right. I think height off your shot is going to be important as well. I don't think a low skipping sidearm is going to get there, especially in this wet grass. I think you're going to see a lot of the players throw it a little bit higher. I think like Väinö right there seemed too low.
Yeah, I think both players got theirs a little bit flat. It looks like this one you want to put a little bit more hyzer angle on it so that it drifts over back to the right without going too deep into the rough.
Yeah, you got to get some air up underneath that. As you see, Mikael has a little bit more height and tighter. Probably slightly less overstable disc. He's going to be putting for birdie just on circle's edge is what it looks like. And then same thing with Samuel.
It just looks a little flat and a little low. And he's going to end up deep. Hopefully he's got a little window to poke out of.
He's got a nice smooth flex forehand. Maybe didn't turn it as much, but he's not too bad right there. He's just not too far from the basket.
And we're going to have 2 tester putts, it looks like. Oskari
Looks
like he was laying up.
Yeah, just choosing to lay that one up. Probably didn't have a great look at the basket and tapping out, as it seems the rain is picking up now. Oh, man.
That would have been a good highlight there.
Almost tossed that one in there. As Väinö for par. Hits the front of the basket, and he's going to be giving up that last birdie along with Samuel. They're going to be taking bogeys, unfortunately, on this par 3.
Yeah, Mikael just tapping him for par, getting out of there, staying out of trouble.
And Väinö with the tough up shot. Same thing with Samuel. Missing his inside the circle putt. And obviously this course is very demanding. 360-foot par 3, and we see 2 people take bogeys as we head on to hole number 7. 122 meters, 400 feet par 3. Looks to be pretty open. There's not really a tight gap that anybody has to hit on this hole. I'm going to guess Even though this is 400 feet, I'm going to say that this is a must get, especially for all of the other holes that we have seen with all the danger on it. You're going to want to get one up there, probably crash the trees, and try to make yourself a putt.
Yeah, and on the tee sign, it looked like there were two different routes that you could take, either a sidearm or a backhand. It looks like you want to be on close on this one. There's a lot of protection on the green.
Yeah, as we watch Oskari do exactly what I mentioned earlier, is crash the green. But he seems to hit first available and kick the wrong direction. So it's going to be a tough look from there as Mikael's going with a big turnover.
And an interesting play. I like it because it's going to land a little bit softer. So if he had landed it in front of those trees, it has a chance to slide through them.
Yeah, and he actually got a great kick. It seemed to be like he almost had the same look as Oskari, but kicked left instead of Oskari kicking right. So,
and Väinö going with the turnover as well. He crashes in a little bit further into the thicker rough.
Yeah, it seems once again those trees over there are so thick. It's going to be tough. I don't imagine that Väinö has a great look for birdie over there.
All four of these guys going backhand. Interesting that no one tried to skip through there with a little sidearm.
And Samuel went early turnover and seemed to hit first available. But that's a great upshot right there. Just to get it on the outside of the trees, he's going to have a somewhat easier putt. As we're watching Oskari drain
another
that putt.
Good one.
Another great putt by Oskari. He does have that great quick snap spin putt right there as he just jams it into the basket. He knows that that disc is staying in the chains.
Yeah, like he had a nice little window to putt through. Mikael's in a similar spot, so I imagine he will have a decent look at the basket, maybe a little bit of a hyzer putt, and he converts on it.
And that's a great putt as well by Mikael. I mean, I would say that Mikael is known for those really pretty smooth putts overall. Not super long drives, but he's just really accurate. Great putts inside of 40 feet overall, and we've seen that so far from Mikael.
A nice putt there from Samuel.
Yeah, that's a good save, as we saw Väinö. As I mentioned, just no look for birdie, just had to toss it up underneath the basket.
Yeah, we're kind of starting to see Oskari and Mikael kind of separate themselves here. They're taking birdies. They're both under par, while the other two competitors are just a little bit over and trying to fight to get back as close as even as they can.
All right, we're headed to hole number 8, par 3, 318 feet, and it is sitting up on a mountain in Finland. That is a Finnish mountain right there. But definitely going to be a tougher shot right here, as you're going to see a lot of players. I assume they're going to try to get to the high side of the hill, which is the left side over there. Either land on the front side and slide up or dig into the hill as much as possible. It's not a bad shot. It's probably a very common play right there by Oskari, as he's going to have a very uphill putt with a huge drop-off behind it.
I imagine it's so tough to stick up there anywhere. It's just so steep.
I do like this angle a lot more by Mikael, as that's the flat spot that I was just talking about. But even from there, that looks to be like a 22 to 25-foot putt. As he's saying, it just need to get a little bit over to the left.
Kind of looking like he's going to go with the turnover again.
Looks to be throwing a glow PA3 is what I saw.
He goes hyzer flip instead of turnover right at the hill. Sticks on it.
All those putts, once again, they have that huge drop off behind it. So it's going to be interesting with the wind and the rain. Samuel, I think that's the second hole in a row. He just did not have a great tee shot.
Yeah, he just pulls it over a little bit.
And you can tell based on the camera, the rain is coming down. It's getting a little bit foggy. Sit. Ooh, that's a good one right there.
Yeah, good upshot. He had a tough window to throw to. Throw through.
Throw to, throw through. And
Oskari
continues these
heating up.
huge putts. He's heating up. That is a great putt right there. With that elevated basket and the drop-off behind it, just no fear.
3 birdies in his last 4 holes. Great putting stroke so far.
Samuel. If it couldn't get much worse. He had to
also
slip.
slips,
He
yes.
had to slip.
Safe to say he probably wants to get off the mound.
He is
I think
ready,
he's ready
to
go.
get off this hole. Väinö, he needed that birdie, and he stuck it in there. Great putt by him.
Yeah, great
Mikael,
putt.
same thing. He's a lot closer than I was thinking off the tee.
Yeah, it looks like that flat spot's definitely the desired landing area. It's close to the basket. It's flat. Well done.
All right, as we're headed to the last hole, the front nine, 738 feet, par 4, 225 meters. It looks like, as you can see the shape of this hole, you want to end a little bit to the left. And then once again, you're going to see a lot of players throw either a hyzer approach or possibly just a layup because there is so much out of bounds on this hole.
Really tight green. You got a pond over there to the right and OB left. I saw a lot of stakes on this one.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of white stakes. 738 feet for the par 4. Once again, is a long par 4, especially with all of the out of bounds. It just shows the difficulty of this course, this brand new course. Frisbeegolfkeskus. I'm going to remember the name one day. Hopefully I play the course one day.
Oskari with a great shot. Stays short of the out of bounds over there on the left.
Mikael just trying to get his disc dry as he gets it nice and flat and pushes to the left. Seems to be in a good position to either attack the basket or lay up. And it seems like you can take a fairly easy par by laying up.
Let's see if Väinö can keep the momentum going this time after a birdie. After his previous birdie, he took a bogey.
That's a good shot right there. It seems like he kind of followed the same shot by Mikael. He's going to have that really wide hyzer shot to the basket. I'm going to guess the upshot is 340 from where those guys are. That's just my guess.
You're looking a little flat there.
Seems to be safe though, so
Wow.
that's definitely a bonus. It looked like he was pushing the edge. Maybe that tree saved him that we just couldn't see on the video.
He's going sidearm. Probably laying up there. Didn't really have a great angle at the basket.
This is going to be a fun one to watch as looks like Mikael's going for the basket on that tiny green.
Hyzer
plays it perfect.
It right
What a shot.
next to the basket.
Got the 2 ponds on each side and the small walkway.
Väinö's going for it as well. Väinö definitely needs the strokes.
And another great shot. These guys are making it seem easy with all of the out of bounds everywhere. We're going to see if Oskari follows them as he is kind of the hot one on the card.
Yeah, he's keeping it going.
Yeah.
I would definitely say that's in his putting range today. So
Yeah, and Samuel going with his 3rd shot here as he did just lay up. And that's a really good shot right there, just to get par from somewhat tough tee shot, I would say, as Väinö is looking to capitalize on this birdie opportunity, and he does.
dead center low, really nice putt from Väinö. He's got 2 birdies.
Yeah, that's
In
a
a
great
row.
way to finish the front nine as he started really tough on hole number 1.
Oskari with the turkey to finish the front 9.
And Oskari 3 under, and Mikael has a pretty easy putt to keep pace. Just quietly, Mikael shoots a 3 under on the front 9 as we watch Oskari can some really big putts. They're tied 3 under after 9 holes. As we see the scores overall, Väinö at +3, Oskari at 3 under, Samuel at +5, and Mikael at -3. Once again, this is the feature car round 1, front 9. We're at the Frisbeegolfkeskus in Tampere, Finland. This is the Prodigy Disc Pro Tour. I'm Will Schusterick. This is Idris Garcia. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys on the back nine.